Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before we get started, okay, I just want to thank these people that have commented such a nice things for my video. As you may have known, I probably don't have to say this over and over again, but actually, if this is your first time seeing my video, hello, my name is Tengu. I put a lot of brain rot content on the internet. But anyways, yeah, I just want to thank these people who have commented such a nice words. Genuinely, I balance 9 to 5 as long as creating YouTube and as long as other life stuff. You know, I'm unfortunately an unk. Apparently, once you pass the age of 23, I'm 24. I guess you're an unk, so hey, I'm an unk. I'm a Japanese unk. I'm a junk, as you might say. So as a junk, you know, I have a lot of things to balance, right? I have work. I have, I go to gym. I have to cook. I have to clean my house. Other adult BS, you know. So comments like this, it really does motivate me to just like get up in the weekend and just like, I don't know, crank up video. Because to be honest, although I don't have too many subscribers, actually I just reached 100 subscribers, so thank you so much for that. But I don't, you know, even though I don't have a lot of subscribers, even though I don't have a lot of viewers, I do genuinely appreciate every single one of you who watched this video. To be honest, like, sometimes it is demotivating when I put a lot of effort and I barely get like 100 views. But honestly, like if I'm making like a single person's day better, honestly, it's kind of worth it. So yeah, so hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I don't know, this is just a quick 100 subscriber thank you. Yay, 100 subscriber baby. As this person requested, apparently a lot of you, some of you wants to see me talk about anime. And don't worry, kings and queens, maybe there are queens somewhere out there. I am going to talk about anime today. And now that we're getting to the main topic, let's turn on the brain rot, right? Here we go. Yep, brain rot is on, so now I have your engagement, okay? So now, let's get to the main video. All right, guys, let's go back a few years, okay? This was around 2 or 3 years after I moved to the great United States of America, baby. USA, USA. And I came back to Japan over summer. I visited my friend that I knew from elementary school because he moved to a new house and he was showing around his manga collection. And this one particular manga caught my eyes. Now, I was a fluffy kid. I'm a little bit fluffy. I talked about this in like some other video, but I recently lost like 40 kilograms. That's like almost 100 pounds in this year. But I used to be very fluffy. Like I used to be pretty fluffy, like a Michelin star man. I used to be very fluffy. Now, especially, I got fluffier. I was a fluffy kid in Japan, but I got fluffier when I moved to the United States, obviously, right? Like, dude, some of the junk food in the United States, oh my God. Oh, I don't even know what they put in there, man. Dude, the first time I ate Funyuns, I felt like my neurons in my like prepubescent child brain was getting rearranged. It was so good. Oh my God. I don't even like Funyuns now, but it's like, actually, no, that's a cap. I like Funyuns, but it's like, you know, I prefer other snacks. But oh my God, dude, American snacks, so good. So good. I don't know what they put in there. They probably put a lot of, I don't know, carcinogens, but so good. So worth it. This book had a bunch of food on the cover art of a manga. And that was enough for me to pick it up and start reading it. Obviously, again, I was a fluffy child. And by reading, I meant reading. Like, I specifically remember, instead of hanging out with my friend, I literally just read this manga the entire time that I was there. And my greedy little elementary ass, you know, needed more. Because I remember borrowing rest of what I couldn't finish reading and just read this manga the entire time that I was there, like in Japan. Now, I didn't realize this at the time, but this random manga that I picked up was a work that, at its peak of popularity, cemented itself as one of the big three, yes, big three, of Shonen Jump. A work that had every element needed to be the GOATs, but fell off so hard because of poor anime adaptation and rushed ending. Fell off so hard that the anime was completely canceled in the middle. Fell off so hard that I guarantee you that 90% of anime fans outside of Japan probably have never heard of this work before. Now, today, I want to revisit this work, and you might be asking, what is this work you're talking about? And this work that I'm talking about is called Toriko, all right? And give you a proper evaluation on whether this work was all hype or it was actually good enough to bump shoulders with Dragon Ball and One Piece. Yes, Dragon Ball and One Piece. Almost at its peak, by the way, for One Piece. And of course, as I often do, or as I often try to do, I put the maximum amount of effort into this, okay? And what I mean by that is I read every single chapter, every single page of Toriko in one sitting. Yes, one sitting. 43 volumes, 400 chapters, and around 10,000 pages. It was a long day. It took around 8 hours. I had no music. I had no background. I had no background video. I didn't take any break between. I did take like one piss between, but literally nothing. I put my entire concentration to reading this book. Hey man, like I said, right? Whenever I review something, I will always put above and beyond effort. So yeah, let's get right into it. Oh, also, let's just pause for a minute, all right? I'm not gonna pause the brain rot video. Don't worry, kiddos. You're still gonna get your brain nourishment. But let's just pause for a second here. This video was originally going to be just about me reading the entire series of Toriko. I mean, like it literally took 8 hours of recording to, finish me. Like I literally saw the sun go down as I was reading. It was such an interesting weekend. I spent one of the weekends just reading manga. It was the most weekend of all time. But after reading everything, right, and after digesting everything, something just kind of didn't make sense to me. For me, right, the world building and the story was so good, like dare I say, better than some of Jump's recent work. And although the ending was rushed, there are some instances of anime changing the ending from the manga and airing the anime until the very end. So considering all this, right, why did this anime that was bumping shoulders with Dragon Ball and One Piece now completely forgotten? So instead of this video just covering, I don't know, my documentation of me actually reading all of Toriko, right, I wanted to do more just for you, just for the 100 viewers out there, right? You guys are my goats, but just for you guys, right? I wanted to do more. So in this video, not only I've already read. I'm recording this after I read it for 8 hours. I read the entire Toriko, okay? And I also want to explain the basic summary because you might be curious on what Toriko is about. And also, I also want to put my review of Toriko and how it holds up in the right year of 2025, baby. And I also will explain my reasoning and I get my guess for why such massive work was forgotten altogether. Now, I don't want to beg, but hey man, I really appreciate everyone that's watching, but like, hey gang, like look at this subscriber to non-subscriber ratio. Like this is a tragedy. This is a modern day tragedy. Like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. This is awful. This is sad. If you can get subscribed, that will literally do me wonders because I put unironically months of effort into making these videos. I had to find time, okay? So please, any amount of subscriber, any amount of like, it will help me. It will just motivate me, okay? Thank you so much. But anyways, enough e-begging, okay? So also, I was going to like, I don't know, put a commentary over me reading, like the 8-hour commentary, but like, I thought that would be kind of boring, to be honest. I don't know, maybe I will. I haven't figured out the format of the video, but I don't know, I thought it would be boring, like just me commentating for like 30 minutes over like just a footage of me reading. So what I would do is I will right now, hold on, kiddos, don't tap out, okay? I will put the Toriko, my footage of me reading around here. I'm gonna put my footage of Toriko reading like over here, right next to me in editing, and I will do review. So I don't know, you guys can see me. I don't know, there's two things to pay attention, okay? You'll have like some brain nourishment. But yeah, let's get to the review time, okay? Or actually, I'll start by talking about the plot.
Fuck, bro, I wish I lived over there, bro. I don't got no homeboys over here.
Oh God, I would grease you if he was over here.
I don't want to live there no more.
Obviously, needless to say, there's gonna be a huge spoiler because I'm basically gonna talk about the entire plot of Toriko. Now, I don't know if anyone's gonna complain about the spoiler considering the work has been finished for like several years now, like multiple years. And anime got canceled midway through, so I don't even know. And plus, right, I don't even know if like the entire manga got translated. Maybe it is on a legal website. I'm not sure. Anyways, go to this timestamp if you just wanna, I don't know, see the review or like see the final score of what I get Toriko. I don't know who the hell is gonna click this timestamp because it's like it's been out for so long, and I don't know if anyone cares. But hey, man, I just want to do my due diligence, right? Anyways, let's go. Toriko has some complex ass lore, and it gets really, really wacky. Okay, so I'm gonna try my darn hardest to summarize the lore. So basically, Toriko takes place in the gourmet age, and as the name suggests, everything in this world revolves around food. In this age, there are these people called gourmet hunters. Now, these people dedicate their lives to seeking an undiscovered food and flavors around the world. And the main character, obviously Toriko, is a legendary gourmet hunter. A hunter so legendary that I think, if I'm not wrong, he discovered a significant portion of the food now available in the human world. Now, gourmet hunters are well respected, obviously, right? And are paid very handsomely, as animals and sometimes plants, or sometimes even spices in this world can get extremely dangerous to capture. And the difficulties to catch these food are determined by the capture level, with level 1 being able to be captured by 10 fully trained and fully armored hunters. And every time an ingredient or an animal is mentioned, the author makes sure to put the capture level to show you just how difficult or rare the ingredient / food is. Now, with this world revolving around food, of course, we're gonna have to talk about the chefs. Now, chef obviously plays a significant role in this world. Author mentions that the chef have bigger influence than any celebrity or politician in this world. You might think that in this world, gourmet hunters play a bigger role than a chef, as they are the one obviously hunting and discovering these extremely difficult to find ingredients and animals. But some ingredients require an insane amounts of preparation and cooking. A skill that many of these gourmet hunters just do not have. Like some gourmet hunters do, but many don't. So like some of the food and ingredients of the world could be captured like fairly easily, but without preparation, these foods cannot be consumed. Like sometimes wrong preparation leading to like a completely edible, delicious food into an extremely poisonous one. And obviously with this world revolving around food, anyone that can cook a good ass meal is respected. That's why
Proper British Dishes Part 35. Pretzels on fucking fire. This was a wartime delicacy when families needed to simultaneously feed their children and heat their homes.
both gourmet hunters and chefs in this world, they're both highly respected. Now, there are other groups like gourmet yakuza, groups dedicated to reviving extinct food or maintaining food that are on a verge of extinction, called saiseya. I don't know the English term, but I'm going to cut short for convenience sake. And this video is gonna way too long if I'm gonna talk about every single group, because there are a decent amount of groups in this world. But again, I'm gonna cut it short. In the world of Toriko, there is a human world and gourmet world. And gourmet world takes almost 70% of the Earth's surface. Now, gourmet world is extremely dangerous. So dangerous that only few limited people have the strength and the knowledge to survive in a gourmet world for literally more than like a millisecond. Like, unironically, that's how they explained it in the lore. But everything from weather to food is out to get you and can and will instantly kill you. The animals that I've talked about earlier in the human world, although dangerous, are not, they're like a joke compared to what's out there in a gourmet world. And most of the animals in the human world is those that was too weak to survive in a gourmet world and ran away to the human world for refuge. Now, you might be thinking, all right? Any smarty pants might be thinking, now why do these extremely dangerous animals that can easily dominate and be on top of the food chain in the human world stays in the gourmet world? Now, great question, by the way. It's in the book, it's explained that because the food and animals in gourmet world taste infinitely times better, so much so that these animals don't even bother going to the human world, because the food in gourmet world just tastes that much better. I know, kind of crazy. There are obviously some gourmet world animals that accidentally enter the human world, but they are kept away by the gatekeepers. That's what they call it, gatekeepers. Basically, an extremely strong people that keeps the human world safe. And these are personally appointed by like the head of IGO, or International Gourmet Organization. I know, I'm getting sidetracked. I know, but IGO's purpose is to oversee food safety, ingredient classification, and the regulation of gourmet hunters, and they are the one that measures the capture level of ingredients. They're basically like the food government of this world, okay? Anyways, going back to the main plot. So, as the name of this work suggests, the main character Toriko and his main goal and of other gourmet hunters is to create full course. A course consisting of appetizer, soup, fish dish, meat dish, main course, salad, dessert, and drink. And Toriko goes on an adventure to fill this full course with chef named Komatsu. Now, he's initially like the everyday normal human being that is there to kind of help the audience get adjusted to this insane world of Toriko, but ultimately pops off and become like a critical key person in the plot of Toriko. Other than Toriko, there are other main characters. One is Zebra, and other is Sunny, and the last one is Coco. they are also highly revered gourmet hunters and have superhuman abilities. Like Zebra uses the power related to sound, Sunny power related to using his hair, and Coco uses poison. So now, you might be thinking now, how the heckity heck, how the darny darn do these people gain these superhuman power? And that's thanks to the gourmet cell. Gourmet cell is found by the godlike figure called Acacia. Now, he's basically hailed as a god in this world as he discovered everything that is known about this world, and he started this huge war that could have ended the world using this food and ingredient called, get this, God. Yes, it's called God, G-O-D. I know, it's crazy. And he stopped it, and this ingredients stopped this like huge war because God tasted so good that all other world leaders thought that the current conflict seemed idiotic and pointless. Yeah, it was just that good. It was just that bussin', as the kids now might say. Acacia discovered gourmet cell in a deep ocean as he was basically kind of like the first gourmet hunter. He discovered that in this deep ocean, every food tasted like significantly better than any other place on Earth, which led to the discovery of this self-regenerating jellyfish, and some animal that ate this jellyfish tasted significantly better than those that didn't, even amongst the same species. Now, he also learned that the animal that ate this jellyfish gets tastier when they eat food that they like/prefer. So he got curious and injected his jellyfish DNA into his body, and that's how you obtain the superhuman abilities. I know, bro kind of went crazy. Bro for real just did like a TikTok challenge. Yeah, he had no idea whether or not this worked. He just did it because why the hell not? It worked for him. Going back, now there are two ways of transforming using gourmet cell. One is natural way where you keep eating the food that contains these gourmet cell, and other is directly injecting to your body. Now, the second way is much faster but extremely dangerous, as you might have guessed. And injecting a foreign object into your body is not very swag. As if your body reacts negatively to gourmet cell, it can potentially kill you. Yeah, crazy. There's an extremely rare case like Toriko where you are born with gourmet cell already inside of your body, however. The plot basically revolves around Toriko getting stronger as he explores the world and ultimately getting strong enough to enter the gourmet world. Now, there are these groups called Gourmet Corp or Bishokai, and they are basically the main antagonist organization, and their goal is to monopolize rare ingredients and control the gourmet world through force and fear. I know, kind of sounds like a Power Ranger villain. Throughout most of Toriko, these guys are the main antagonists. However, like 75% into the story, it's revealed that there are another organization called Neo, and their goal is to revive the appetite demon Neo and bring a new gourmet era. I know it sounds crazy, okay? And I'll get to this later. I know you might be thinking, what the hell is this guy saying? I'll get to it later. Don't worry. I know it sounds crazy. Again, if this starts to get crazy or confusing, don't worry. This is not your fault. The plot gets really, really confusing near the end, where it's extremely clear that the author just wanted to finish this work, and I will dedicate an entire section of this video talking about the ending and try to dissect as much as possible, because in order for me to understand what the hell is happening in the end, I literally have to watch like 5 Japanese channels dissecting the end of Toriko and record the ending like multiple times. It was rough. It was rough, gang. It was rough. But that's basically the gist of the plot. It's shonen plus food, right? If this sounds interesting to you, go ahead and read/watch it. I guarantee you that the first half of Toriko will not disappoint you. It's really good. But before we get to the end of Toriko and the reason for it being basically forgotten, let's start by digesting aspects of this work that are, frankly, outstanding.
Steak frites, sauteed spinach, absolute fucking despair. Absolute fucking despair. Steak frites, sauteed spinach. The crushing reality of all that I've done. And the love that I've destroyed.
Let's begin by artwork. Now, during my actual recording of the manga, I focused a lot on the world building, and I will get to that part later, but the artwork of this manga is honestly kind of phenomenal. It's not berserk level of drawing, but all the panels are extremely well drawn, and oh my god, the way this author draws food, man, bro, I be drooling like while reading some of the panels, man. He kind of pops off here. I feel like when you first hear about combining food and shonen, you might think that's probably the most obvious formula for success. However, you have to understand, none of the food that is described in Toriko is real. And the way in which this author draws these fictional meat, seafood, veggies, and sometimes food that doesn't fit into any of these categories really pulls you into the story. Like I mentioned earlier, I used to be a fluffy child, and so any manga or media related to food, I consume like a madman. I, of course, read famous works like Food Wars, some works that's not so popular in the West, like Oishinbo, Papa, and Yakitate Japan. And this work kind of clears when it comes to the visual aesthetic of food. Like, some of these food looks so good. It's honestly insane. Again, keep in mind, none of these food and ingredients in Toriko are real, but because of the way the character describes the taste, the onomatopoeia added to the panel, and of course, the art of the author genuinely bring these fictional food to life. So much so that, as a fluffy child, I remember wishing I could taste some of the food in Toriko, man. Like, if you are an extreme minority that have actually read/watched Toriko, you are lying to yourself if you have never wished to eat jewel meat before. I have never wanted to put a meat on my tongue before in my life like this, bro. I mean, it's not the first time ever I wanted to put a meat on my mouth, but hey, nonsense. Let's talk about shonen part of the manga. Needless to say, if the author is good enough to draw and bring these fictional food to life, he is good enough to draw the fight scenes. This author definitely have a simpler artwork style compared to like some of the modern artwork, like especially like Sakamoto days. But it kind of works, as I never had any problems not understanding what was going on. And what I love about Toriko is that it doesn't really pull any punches when it needs to. The fight scenes with the Tommy Rod, I forgot this guy's full name. I think that's his name. But the guy that uses Bug, right? That fight scene was pretty. I mean, it got pretty gruesome, man. Like with Bugs like literally snapping one of the characters' arm, digging into their arms, digging into their eyes, etc., etc. Overall, if I were to give like a rating on the artwork, I'd say maybe 8.5 out of 10. It's pretty solid. If I'm only going to focus the way this author draws food, then it's definitely 10 out of 10. Now, let's get to the main course, if you will. You see what I did there? I'll say, but anyways, let's get to the world building.
It's a woman. You mean you're not a clumsy soldier femboy twink? Can't believe I fell in love with the chick.
The world building is quite literally the best part of Toriko, without a doubt. If there is one thing that this author excels at other than the art, it's the world building. When I was first describing this work, some of you might have thought, man, what the hell is this work even about? I feel like describing this work verbally might confuse even some of the most seasoned manga readers, because I mean, I admit, man, like the world of Toriko gets wacky, like so wacky that without the author's ability of world building, I think many readers will have a difficult time getting invested in this world, even from the first chapter. In the last section, I kind of raved about how good the author draws these fictional food, but the real MVP that brings these fictional food to life is the way the author describes these food. Now, it's one thing to make fictional food look good. That alone is extremely difficult, but it's a whole nother level of difficulty to describe the food that doesn't exist. The taste, the texture, the smell, but this author does it in a way that every food that he describes just sounds so good and so real. Again, dare I say, some of the food, I can almost imagine what they taste like. Besides the world building of food in Toriko, another thing that I loved is inclusion of price in food and the cooking utensils being used. Now, this seems like a really, really small detail, but adding price genuinely helped me get a grasp of how valuable these ingredients and cooking utensils were. It also helped with bringing the audience back to kind of the reality, right? As the story progresses, you get accustomed to stronger and rarer ingredients in food, and Toriko basically is like a multi-millionaire, but inclusion of these prices takes you back to, kind of reminds you the type of danger/rare ingredients that the Toriko is constantly dealing with. And I love when Komatsu and Toriko goes back to the human world and eats at these restaurants that, quote unquote, normal humans eat, because it just reminds you of how expensive some of these restaurants can get. And I love to see how humanities have adapted to these crazy ass food and ingredients in the world of Toriko. It also kind of showcases that these food that Toriko and Komatsu are eating on every adventure, to many are so rare and so expensive that they may never get the chance to eat it. So much so that foreshadowing, some are willing to die to taste what they're eating. Another aspect that I loved about Toriko is how well integrated gourmet is to every aspect of this world. Sometimes maybe too well, or sometimes maybe even too ridiculous. The world building that I'm specifically going to focus is Gourmet Casino and the Healing Hospital arc. I don't know what the island is called. Maybe I'll put it up here. I don't know. Gourmet Casino and seeing some of the shady side of this world really showed me that it's not all sunshine and rainbows. To give some context, Coco, Toriko, and Komatsu decided to go on this Gourmet Casino, and they've heard the news that an ingredient that Coco has been looking for might be stored inside of this Gourmet Casino. Now, just like in real life, when a demand for a product is high, some people are willing to risk everything to achieve it, even gambling their own life. Now, I mentioned earlier that chefs were highly valued because some food takes ridiculous amount of effort and talent to prepare. And this is on full display during the Gourmet Casino arc. In the Gourmet Casino arc, it showed the illegal market for food, where food with highly addictive property or some food that are straight up poisonous are sold freely, as where the Gourmet Casino is located is outside of IGO's jurisdiction, and they don't have any control of what's being sold there. One thing to add, sometimes the author goes a little too crazy with the gourmet world building, as in the Gourmet Casino, similar to real life, you buy these chips, right, to gamble. Let's go, baby! Always gamble on bread! Okay, sorry. But being that this is the gourmet world, you can eat these chips. This is where it gets a little ridiculous, but the more expensive the chips, the better tasting they are. Now, you might be asking, how do they make these chips taste better, or what do they taste like? I don't know. The comment that Toriko gives is ume, which means that's good. That's all you get. So apparently it's very good. The healing thing that I was talking about earlier is after the fight with Tommy Rod, Toriko loses his arm. And in order to heal his arm, he goes to this healing island place. I forgot the name, but in here, many people are being healed by the plants, animals, fishes of the world, showcasing that the gourmet world of Toriko, yes, there are many delicious food and animals, but there are also animals and plants that benefits humans besides from just filling up their stomachs. And it was honestly pretty cool to see. Now, I can go on and on about how the world building is good, but let me stop with talking about this one final thing, which is integration of food proposed by the audience.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm about to get some ice cream. We about to see this shit. Oh.
Now, me personally, I don't know about you, right? But me personally, when a manga or even Western media or any form of media introduces a character or an idea that was given to it by a fan, I'm usually against it, because it often just doesn't belong, right? It doesn't fit in the story very well. However, in the world of Toriko, because all the animals and food is already kind of like out there, kind of crazy, a lot of food and animals introduced in Toriko are ideas created by the audience. Now, I think they used to do this thing where audience can submit the name, the drawing, the description, along with capture level of the food or animal, and author incorporates it to the main story. Anyways, a lot of the food and animals introduced in Toriko are fan-made, and there are some food and ingredients that plays a major role in a plot, and none of them, except one, fell out of place. And I love that, honestly. It felt like Toriko was created not only by this author, but also by the audience as well. And to this day, I don't think I ever seen a manga or work that's this involved with the community as Toriko. And it's such a shame that Toriko is basically now completely forgotten. Now, obviously, right, the author changes some design, catch level of these ideas submitted to fit the story better, but honestly, it was really fun to see these audience-made concepts come to life in the manga. Not only just come to life, but come to life so naturally. Now, there are many other aspects of Toriko that I can talk about that makes this work great, but unfortunately, I do not want this video to be 4 hours long because, one, I do not have that time to edit a video that long, and two, I edit using my iPad, and I don't think my old-ass iPad can handle that much footage. So let's now dive into the negative part and why Toriko fell off harder than Netflix. Sidetrack, but dude, do y'all remember how good Netflix used to be? Man, dude, I used to use Netflix since, I know, junk, I'm a nunk, I'm old, I'm sorry, but I used to use Netflix since they only rented out DVDs, and when they first introduced their app, their streaming service, man, dude, they had everything, bro. I miss those days, oh my God. I kind of understand why pirating is back. Like, it's kind of ridiculous how many like streaming service that you have to subscribe to just like, I don't know, get like decent size library of movies and shows. It's honestly ridiculous. Sorry, going back.
Okay, and Frank, you are making everybody, including me, very uncomfortable. I'm sorry, but I have to ban you.
Let's get to the bad side of Toriko and why it ultimately fell off. So up until this video, you might be wondering why Toriko fell off or is even completely forgotten about given how much I praise his work. Now, to the very, very few that have actually read this work, you might have noticed that everything that I kind of talk about so far is up until like 23rd volume. And I haven't talked about everything, about anything from 24th to 43rd volume, which is the last volume. And there is a reason for it. Personally, I think up until 23rd volume, Toriko is one of the most entertaining and well-paced manga. Along with its world building and everything that I've talked about so far, when I was a kid, I genuinely loved Toriko, dare I say, more than One Piece and Dragon Ball. But my opinion of Toriko quickly soured as soon as it got to the arc with 4 Beasts or Shinju. Now, although Toriko's world building is great, it's obviously not perfect. For example, the capture level on Coco's full menu is way too low, considering how strong he is, all right? Like, I'm sure Brother has eaten something way better ever since he was first introduced. Second of all the gourmet leveling gets an insane inflation after the Shinju arc. To give you some context, right? The very first beast that the Toriko hunts down, the legendary Garana Gator, is in the single digit of capture level. And although capture level has been kind of like inconsistent here and there, up until the 4 Beast arc, it's been fairly balanced. Like, and when the main animal or food for the arc got introduced, it was justified on why their capture level was so difficult. So I don't like this 4 Beast arc. I don't like this 4 Beast arc for a few reasons, okay? But even though I understand how dangerous the beast is, having 350 plus capture level when capture level before Shinju has been below 100, it's an insane jump. 2, from here on out, I don't know the author got lazy or simply lost passion, but the intricacy and the care that he took when drawing these food, how he explained his food, how he explains the taste, the flavor, I just said the same thing twice, is gone. Like, all the food got so out there that even me, a fluffy child, just didn't care. Like, none of the food looked good. And most of the time, the character gives a simple, "That's really good." Or, you know, sometimes didn't even describe what the food tasted like. Up until Shinju arc, all the 4 main characters' ability has been extremely consistent. So Toriko uses nail punch and knife and fork. Zebra uses his voice, Coco his poison, and Sunny his hair, okay? Now guess how these 4 defeats the 4 beasts or Shinju. Now, I'm gonna give you some time, okay? You might be thinking maybe they did some wombo combo. I don't know, maybe they, with power of friendship and love. I don't know, okay? All right, but just guess. I guarantee you will not be able to guess, because when I first read this, I was like, what the hell is going on? So the answer to the $1 million question is they accumulate their pure desire of hunger and their desire to eat this beast, and this pure form of hunger and gluttony eats the 4 beasts alive. Now, I said some of the world building that this author does was wacky, but I'm not gonna lie. Even as a child, I was hella confused on what the hell was going on, because prior to this, right, it was never, by the way, never mentioned that they can do this. And if I'm not wrong, I don't think they ever use this again. Like this power is so fucking broken. Sorry, I swore, but this power is so broken that I think the author just kind of pulled it out of his ass and just like kind of forgotten about it, because he was like, okay, this thing can literally defeat any other like beast out there. So I don't know, maybe he was planning to end Toriko here, but yeah, again, I'm gonna show you some panel. It's as ridiculous as it looks. It is. When I was kind of reading this, I was like, again, when I was at elementary school, right? I was like, what the hell is going on? I was just extremely confused. And yeah, I don't know, man. This is where this work kind of lost me. But now, although Shinju arc was bad, okay, I specifically remember where I dropped Toriko altogether. Started to buy this work just out of obligation, and that's with the chef's battle arc. Okay, now during this arc, the top 100 chefs of the world gathered together to decide the best chefs in the world. And this arc at the beginning was very interesting. Like, it was honestly cool. It was like Great British Cook-Off Bake-Off or whatever the fuck the show is called. It was the Master Chef? I don't know. Gordon Ramsay, baby. But it was, at the beginning, it was very interesting and very fun to see like all these legendary chefs who have only been mentioned by name now show up, and seeing like the different design, their specialty in cooking was also very cool. Now, unfortunately, this very interesting arc is cut off because of Bishokai, or the gourmet corp that I mentioned earlier, starts attacking the arena in which the chef's battle is held. Abduct all the chefs. Up until this specific arc, up until the specific chapter, okay? Toriko's power scaling has been pretty consistent, okay? Except let's forget about the Shinju arc. That never happened. I'm gonna forget about it. That's I don't know. We're not gonna talk about that, okay? Because Jesus Christ, I don't know what the hell happened there. But when he levels up, okay, his nail gun's quantity, or the amount of punches that he can output with a single nail punch, increased by maybe 1 or maybe even 5. He levels up, he learns a new ability using his legs. He levels up again, and he learns a new defensive ability. What I'm trying to say is, when he levels up, it was extremely gradual, and I love the fact that you can see just how strong he's gotten by looking at the quantity of the nail punch. So before this arc, okay, the largest nail punch that he could output was maybe 50, okay? And that's using both of his arms. So 25 in each, okay? 25 right, 25 left. And if I'm not wrong, whenever he learned a new ability, it took him many arcs. But during this arc and during this battle with Starjin is basically the main op of this manga, of Toriko. He's like the main bad boy. But yeah, he's like the rival. He's basically Sasuke to his Naruto. But yeah, bro literally created like 10 moves during this battle in a single chapter. And I think his nail punch went to like 100. Yeah, 100. If I'm not wrong, like something just absolutely ridiculous that completely threw away like the previous gradual increasing power scaling. Now, I understand that before this arc, Toriko does learn the ability to store calorie. Oh, by the way, I forgot, but each of Toriko's ability consumes a bunch of calorie, and the amount of time he can conduct these ability is determined by the amount of calorie that he stores in his body. Now, I understand that he trains so he can basically store like infinite calories in his body now, but even as a child, right, when I first saw that bro was just creating shit on the spot, I just rolled my eyes. For it work to be good, okay, the power scaling has to be gradual and consistent, almost like the same feedback, like same criticism that I had for solo leveling. Crazy. If you can just create random shit on the spot without a proper training arc, you lose the audience's interest. It's basically just creating your own rule or cheating in board game. Like, if you're going to throw the rules, then that takes all the fun away. Yes, solo leveling, I'm looking at you. It's one of the reasons why you're so mid. Jesus Christ. I still don't understand. Like, please watch my video on solo leveling. It's so mid. I don't understand how people rave. Dude, the fact that I'm sorry, I'm going on a sidetrack, but like, dude, I'm still pissed about that. The fact that solo leveling won anime of the year, beating Freeren and any other anime that's out there is, I don't know, man, dude. Like, I don't know what the hell happened. You know, like, there's no fucking way that thing was the anime of the year. It was so mid. I'm sorry, but anime of the year, my fucking ass. No way. Now, besides the power scaling problem, the real problem starts when they enter the gourmet world, or gourmet gurumekai, as it's called in Japanese. I feel like a lot of anime has this problem of not having the great landing when it comes to the ending. And Toriko is a prime example, if not the worst case scenario. To bring a quick example, I think one of the latest anime that had this problem is a Demon Slayer. I love Demon Slayer, but let's be real, okay? As soon as Tanjiro and the gang started to prepare for the final battle with the Hashiras, the story just got like, that shit was rushed to like Mach 10. That thing was like, it was clear that the author just wanted to end by that point, because like, just like Rengoku, right? Every single Hashira should have gotten their own arc with their own character development, because they had enough backstory, they had enough fucking personality to fill an entire arc. But I'm pretty sure the author got her bag. Yes, it's a she, by the way, the author's a she. She got her bag and then she just quit. And honestly, I kind of respect that. If I had like infinite money glitch, then yeah, I probably would do that too. But enough about Demon Slayer, okay? Let's get back to Toriko. Now in Toriko, Gourmet World has been hyped up since the very, very beginning. And the author specifically, by the way, mentions that all of these adventures that we are seeing in the human world is only 35% of the entire world's surface. We have basically twice the amount of surface area and lore to go through. Now in manga, Toriko's story in the human world is happening in volume 1 through 30. With this, you might assume that it will take additional 60-ish volumes to finish the adventures in Gourmet World. Guess how many it took? Okay, I already kind of spoiled it, but it took 12 chapters to finish in the Gourmet World. Yeah, you might be wondering why a lot of audience was disappointed. The last 12 volume of this book focuses on getting Acacia's full course, which consists of center. Yeah, by the way, everything that I'm gonna say, it's a name of an ingredient. I know, it's fucking, I don't know, but yeah, just bear with me, okay? It's called center, pair, another, muse, god, air, earth, and atom. Okay, one cool detail that I kind of have to give props to was that if you take the first letter of each full course except center, it creates the word Pangea. But that's besides the point, it doesn't matter. It's a cool little detail, but it doesn't matter. Acacia's full course is special because each time you eat one of these courses, it allows you to unleash part of the Gourmet Soul Demon. Now, you might be thinking, what the hell is Gourmet Soul Demon? So, did I mention that all the character gets their powers from a Gourmet Soul? Well, when a Gourmet Soul is compatible with your body, the user hosts a demon inside of them, and that's how everyone gets their special inhuman power, like poison. Are you confused? Yeah, me too, because this wasn't really like explained in a whole lot of detail. So much so that normally you can only host up to one demon, right? It's basically like same as, what is that thing called? Demon, what is that thing called? Oh my gosh. Demon fruit? Is that what it's called in English? Devil fruits. Oh my god, sorry. It's devil fruit in One Piece. You know, where you can't eat multiple devil fruit. It's the same thing here, right? You can only host up to one Gourmet Soul Demon at a time, but guess what? Toriko hosts three. Bro has an entire, like, I don't know, bro has an entire apartment in his body or something, bro. I don't know, it's kind of crazy, but 2 of the Gourmet Soul Demon that he hosts gets a lot of spotlight, but the third one literally showed up for like 4 panels. Yes, 4 panels. I'm not joking. He showed up for like 4 panels. And that was the strongest out of the 3. I hope I don't have to keep on saying this to hammer the idea that the author just really wanted to finish his work. And was the reason on why Toriko can host 3 demons was ever explained? I don't think so. If it was, I think by this time I just kind of gave up on this work and I just didn't pay attention. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'll if there's a reason, I'll post it here. Okay. Now I'm sure you want me to describe how in depth and how awesome getting all the Acacia's course was, but I think capturing 4 or 5 of the courses literally happened off screen. I'm not fucking joking, by the way. It happened off screen. And you know how I just raved about this author's ability to describe what these, you know, out of this world food tasted like, right? Well, there's barely any. So I wish I can tell you like what they tasted like, what the texture is like, right? But I can't, because again, some of the eating happened off screen. So it's like, what the hell, man? Like, I don't know, you're taking like the greatest joy out of a fat kid, seeing fictional character eat these delicious food. Anyways, yeah, I mean, that's another reason why I got so mad, but sorry. Enough about my my childhood trauma as a fat kid, but this is fucking ridiculous even thinking about it. Pear, right? So I'm gonna put all the Acacia's full course here, okay? Most of them are like what, vegetables, fish, pork, whatever, right? Normal, very normal. Guess what pear is? Guess, pear. You might be thinking, maybe cherry, you know, because it's a pear. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's 2 ingredients that had to like come together to form this ultimate flavor. It is a monkey's ball sack. Oh! I'm not joking. I wish I can show my face, but yeah, I am just, it's a monkey's ball sack. It's a ball sack from a monkey. That's what a pear is. Yeah. Anyways. The story ends with the gang ultimately unlocking the ability to release their gourmet demons and defeating the gourmet demon that was inside of Acacia that ultimately consumed him because of Neo's insatiable hunger, blah, 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 blah. The ending was just wholly mid. It was mid. Dare I say, it might even battle solo leveling when it comes to level of midness. It was. I'm gonna be honest, gang, like, don't buy the last like few volumes. It's not worth it. Just pirate it. Hold on. I mean, don't pirate. Hold on. Don't pirate, kids. That's illegal. Don't do it. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Hold on. No. Don't. I don't actually. Pirating. I actually don't know what that is. Actually, great. I don't know. I think I was thinking about like One Piece.
The One Piece is real.
What I meant to say was, I think you know, given the increase in like rapid technological advancement, there might be ways in which you can read this work without paying money. Now, I'm not saying where or how, I'm just saying maybe there are. I don't know. Personally, I've never done that before, but I'm just saying maybe there is. Now, let's talk about why it fell off. Part 2, the anime adaptation.
Hey, want some candy?
Now, you might be surprised to hear that the anime adaptation was one of the reasons why this work failed. I mean, I'm gonna bring up Demon Slayer again, but Demon Slayer, similar with Solo Leveling, is getting hard carried by the animation. Like, look at some of these Demon Slayer panels. You cannot tell me the art is good. Like, come on, bro. Like, come on. Okay, like I feel like if I try, I can draw better as well. And I have never drew in my, is that the past tense? And I have never picked up a pen in my life when it comes to drawing. I think if the animation was terrible, I'm gonna be honest, I think Demon Slayer would have been forgotten as well. But it was saved because of how well the animation was, okay? Like, I'm gonna be honest, Demon Slayer animation, it's kind of beautiful. Dude, have you seen the latest movie? Oh my gosh, that's a modern animation like phenomenon. It's beautiful, it's awesome. But that's if the animation is good. Now, an original manga can be saved by the animation if 1, the animation is good, 2, keeps the part of the original work that many audience fell in love with, and 3, especially doesn't introduce any anime original characters or story or plot line that audience hates. And I think you can already guess that the Toriko, the anime, unfortunately did all of the 3. Now, to start off, right, you gotta understand, this was before Jump had like fuck you money. And people shit on Blue Lock's animation, but like, dude, weekly anime back then, like back in the days, like mostly kind of looked like that. I mean, not as bad as Blue Lock, yes, it's not a slideshow. It wasn't a slideshow, but they didn't have the budget that they have now, so they often have to like cut corners, man. And I said that Demon Slayer is getting carried by the animation, and I still do like to compare the original drawing versus the animation. The animation is like not even comparable when it comes to the quality of drawing. However, now Toriko's animation was okay at best, okay? It doesn't have like any mind-blowing animation that current anime has, so it didn't have the privilege of being carried by the animation. Now, let's talk about changing the original work. In some cases, changing the original work can actually benefit the work. Although not always the case, but when animating popular manga, the animation studio and the people working on anime adaptation has a privilege of changing some of the work and take more time developing a character or explaining plot lines that was only briefly covered in the manga. When anime adaptation starts, the manga is always, not always, but most of the time ahead of the animation. However, the animation team of Toriko just decided to throw this privilege out the fucking wazoo because they introduced this annoying ass announcer that films all of Toriko's adventure and broadcasts it to the human world. Now, there are many Japanese forums that discusses about why this character was added, which ranges from anime needing more attractive female characters to gain interest of the new audience, as in the manga is basically a sausage festival. Now, there are many like discussion about why this character was added, but me personally, I think it was added because, like I said in the beginning, right, Toriko's world setting is very, very out there, even if you are like a very seasoned veteran of watching anime or manga. I'm having a very, very difficult time even trying to summarize the story without making it convoluted. I think they introduced this character as another element of having a relatable everyday character that a normal audience can relate to. Now, this could have worked if Komatsu didn't already serve that role to begin with, and although I only watched few episodes of Toriko's when I was a kid, all I remember about this character is just her constantly screaming in the background and breaking the pacing of the anime. And my sentiment of this character isn't original, as many people share the same opinion as me, and as many audiences just did not like this character at all. Another aspect of anime that made the anime adaptation of Toriko really unpopular was introducing original plotline/plot device. Now, there are some instances where the anime has to introduce filler or stretch some arc to let manga have more time to progress, as in many cases, right, anime is released more consistently and sometimes anime catches up to where the manga is. However, this was not the case for Toriko. Now, this is extremely memed on in Japan, but Toriko kept on introducing these like dumbass plotline that was obviously there to make more money. Like, take for example, okay, this gourmet spicer thing, okay? This thing basically lets you make original spice by shredding dried ingredients. A very cool concept, and something similar was in the original manga, but the anime just kept on pushing this fucking toy in the anime to like, but I guarantee you some of the people that bought this did not use it for the original ENTIRE Spicer. Like, look at this thing. It's a fist. It's a fucking fist. Come on. Like, what were they thinking? It got to the point where this thing was just, I don't know, just constantly there, and it got like really distracting. With these changes, along with manga's popularity gradually falling down to the point of the anime being completely canceled, and by the end of Toriko, most people forgotten about this work or were just too lazy to even keep track of what is going on in the story in the manga. Although there are a lot of people trying to get Toriko to be reanimated, I don't think there is enough demand, as right now, decent chunk of the anime industry revenue comes from overseas, and because Toriko is basically unknown overseas, I don't think it's coming back, unfortunately. Another thing that I talked about earlier, right, where I said all the fan-made ingredients was very well integrated into the story, right? Toriko's last meal, okay? Toriko's last meal was just, it was introduced in a single panel. There wasn't a full arc. The last meal was a meat, okay, the meat dish. The last meal that was left in this full course was a meat dish, and this audience introduced pork just came out of fucking nowhere and just filled that place. It was like, you can tell how rushed this story was. It was honestly, like, it was kind of insulting. I get it, okay? Like, a lot of personal things can happen, right? Authors are also human beings as well, but it's like, to have such a great concept, and you know, the author like consistently showcased how well he can introduce these fan-made characters, but man, the ending was so rushed. Like, I don't know, the reason why I'm a little bit disappointed, and you might be able to hear from my voice, but the reason why I'm a little bit angry about Toriko is because, man, I love this work, bro. This kind of leads to my conclusion of this entire thing. Now, Toriko, as you can probably already guess, is one of my favorite work growing up. At some point, again, I was more interested in Toriko than One Piece, and if you probably watch like any of my shorts that I upload, I love One Piece, bro. I be doing tricks on One Piece like 24/7. Okay, I still firmly believe that if this manga just took its time to develop its story and characters, this work could have gone down in Jump's history in the same level as Bleach and Dragon Ball. It's clear that the author has the ability to make some of the most convoluted plot lines and world building extremely digestible, and at the same time extremely intriguing. When I first started reading Toriko, some of the earlier volumes were covered in dust. Like, these books have been with me since I was in elementary school. I bought them in Japan during the summer break that I talked about in intro. Brought them back in a big ass backpack. A backpack so big, I think it was actually wider than me because I was a tiny kid. I'm now 6'1", by the way. What can I say? I'm 6'1". I'm waging, guys. Guys, how am I single? Guys, come on, how am I single? But anyways, and now I bought them in Japan, I brought them back to America, and now they're back to me in Japan again. I had these books for well more than over 10 years. Maybe even older than some of you that's watching this, which is kind of crazy. Reading this back, it was kind of surreal. I kind of had a surreal feeling, as although Toriko was always in my bookshelf, I just didn't read it for like, again, good 10 years. Reading Toriko brought back a lot of memories, like especially looking at how busted up some of the volume was, as I read some of Toriko over and over again when I was a kid. My mom put Toriko in this like special big bag, and I used to carry like 20 volumes of Toriko wherever I went, like literally everywhere. I'm sure a lot of people were confused, as one, I used to be a short chubby kid, and seeing this kid carry this bag full of manga, a bag that was as big as he was everywhere, must have been an interesting sight. It's really a shame, as reading back the earlier volume, it's immediately evident on why Toriko has such a huge fan base. Some of the early volumes of Toriko is so good that I can confidently say that my opinion of this book is not clouded with nostalgia. Some of the plot in the earlier volumes of Toriko is so well paced. I understand why at some point I like Toriko more than One Piece. I mean, obviously, being a fluffy kid definitely did cloud my judgment, as I'm obviously going to be more attracted to work that revolves around food. With elements like bad animation, rushed ending, and pacing, it's really unfortunate that Toriko went down the way it did. And given that it's been so many years since the manga finished, I don't think we will ever see Toriko shine to its fullest potential. If you're even slightly interested, I don't know where you can read Toriko, but maybe, again, you might have to sail on 7 seas, if you know what I mean, to read it. But if you have the chance, go give it a read. Again, the first few chapters, for the first few volumes, it's something. Like you will genuinely enjoy it for sure. If you're even slightly interested, again, I don't know where you can read it, but you might be surprised by this hidden gem. Overall, I give Toriko maybe the final review. Sorry, I almost forgot to give a final review. Final points, but the final score of Toriko with everything considered, I give it maybe 7 out of 10. If it kept the pacing and original pacing that it had in the beginning, I would definitely give it like 9.5. But because of everything, maybe 6.5, 7. Definitely higher than the Solo Leveling though. I don't know what I give Solo Leveling, but yeah, just know that this anime and manga, as rushed and as shitty as it is still better than Solo Leveling. I guarantee you. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video so far, please like and subscribe. This recording alone took almost 2 hours. So in total, I recorded like almost 10 hours of footage. And I'll be editing 10 hours of footage. So like I said, if you enjoy it, please like and subscribe. It will do me wonders, genuinely. It gives me all the motivation that I need to keep on editing and keep on posting. So I hope you have a good day. I hope I was able to provide you with some junk knowledge on old manga. But yeah, I hope you have a great day. I hope you stay hydrated. I hope you had a great 2025 because, oh my gosh, 2025 is looking really interesting, man. Oh my, there's so much shit happening in September. My God. But yeah, anyways, Tengu out. Bye-bye.